If you've ever had stormy weather in your classroom, you are not alone. This video will show you how you can navigate these storms using the right knowledge and skills. When I attended a professional learning session with Dr. Eric Jensen about the brain, it changed the way I view teaching. Let's see what that looks like in this video, starting with a realistic fiction story about a girl named Lila. Lila is a 10-year-old who woke up late for school. Panicked, she rushed out of the house without breakfast, missed the bus anyway, and had to walk. She was tired from staying up late, again, watching her little brother while her mother worked. At school, she felt embarrassed when the teacher asked her in front of everyone about her lateness. Lila yelled, "I can't help it, and you don't care anyway," and she ran out. The school counselor found her crying in the hallway and walked with her to her office. After she had time to calm down, Lila described her chaotic morning. The counselor offered a snack and arranged a comforting phone call with her mom. She learned that her emotions were normal and that everyone feels overwhelmed sometimes. We'll revisit Lila's situation at the end of the video. These situations occur often and can leave teachers feeling unprepared. After all, students are more than vessels for knowledge. They are humans with real-life challenges, and so are teachers. Most teachers are not counselors, but I've come to realize that an understanding of how the brain works can help to mitigate challenges and elevate learning. This video stems from much research, primarily on the work of the following resources. First, Dr. Eric Jensen, researcher, author, teacher extraordinaire, has packaged brain research into practical tools for engagement. PureEdgeInc.org offers a free brain curriculum and simple mindfulness practices. And finally, Dr. Dan Siegel, who has made understanding the brain easier for those of us who are not neuroscientists. Dr. Siegel's hand model is powerful because it encourages us to understand the different parts of the brain and how they interact with each other and the rest of the body. And this isn't just for us to understand as teachers, it's for us to teach to students also so that they may experience integration. Here's how it works. When you fold your thumb inside your palm and curl your fingers over, that's your completed brain. The palm represents the brainstem, our survival center, regulating breathing, heart rate, and fight or flight responses. The thumb is the limbic system where, with other parts of the brain, emotions, motivation, memory, and meaning making occur. And the fingers represent the cortex, divided into the frontal cortex associated with thought and the prefrontal cortex, which integrates all these systems, helping us think, problem solve, and make thoughtful decisions. When the PFC is disintegrated, we may experience or observe a lack of focus or retention, disorganized behavior, poor impulse control, etc. But when the PFC is integrated, it brings calm, creativity, collaboration, and harmony, exactly what we want in our classrooms.
Artlist.io.
Now that we've covered some brain basics, let's add tools to our toolbox for calming everyday storms. One comes from the creators of the ruler curriculum called the meta moment. Emotions can derail us if they control us, or they can help us if we manage them well, allowing us to sharpen our focus or enjoy people and experiences. The meta moment is a research-based process that helps us wisely use that space between trigger and response. Asking someone to just calm down usually doesn't help because they likely don't have the skills to do so. Taking a meta moment is a great place to start this calm down process. When something happens in our environment that jeopardizes our safety or something we value, Our emotions respond by preparing for action. This is called a trigger. Our emotions cause changes in our bodies and minds. It's important to sense what those changes are. Emotions can shift our thoughts and attention, speed up or slow down our heart rate, preparing us for fight or flight, and be revealed through our body language. For example, anger may show up with a clenched fist or furrowed brow, or sadness through slumped shoulders or a lowered gaze. To keep emotions from hijacking the brain, we stop or pause. Here's why. Breathing is the only visceral process we can consciously override. Slow nasal breaths activate the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body and restoring the brain's cortex role in self-regulation. This pause helps us avoid saying or doing things that we can't take back. Let's put our new learning into practice. This is a simple breathing exercise from pureedgeinc.org. As you watch the demonstration, notice how the movement of tracing the hand matches each inhale and exhale. This steady and even breathing signals the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body and the mind. This practice synchronizes sight, touch, and breath, all to create focus and calm. Afterward, it can be helpful to remain in that calm state for a moment of gratitude or affirmation before moving on with the next task. See Our Best Self is a unique practice we can do after a mindful pause. We can recall our best self visual when emotions run high. In advance, illustrate how you want to be known when you are at your happiest. Connect it to your values, goals, and ideal reputation. I keep one framed as a reminder. Quick illustrations of things I love to do and words like joy, laughter, and creativity help me align with my best self when I need it most. By adulthood, we all develop strategies to shift thinking and behavior. One is reframing, viewing a challenge through a new lens. For example, when I started this channel, I reframed doubts of what if no one's interested into I'll never know until I publish. That shift moved me from hesitation into action. The payoff of a meta moment is a response that promotes well-being and growth. All emotions are valid, and with practice, we learn which strategies help us to manage them in alignment with our best selves. We can all think of times that taking a meta moment could be beneficial for ourselves and others. We're well on our way to becoming emotions scientists. Emotions come and go all day, and teachers who plan with this in mind can capitalize on them. Dr. Mark Brackett identifies two drivers of emotional intensity, pleasantness and energy, shown in a tool called the mood meter. Emotions in the high pleasantness, high energy quadrant are different degrees of happiness. So what does this mean for the classroom? Picture students coming in from recess. They're moving quickly, laughing, and speaking loudly. That's high energy. If they're asked to begin silent reading right away, it may take time to shift into a calmer state. But if they're given a partner task that requires collaboration, they can channel that energy into creativity and connection. Now think about your own schedule. At what times of the day might your students fall into the different zones on the mood meter? Students need a classroom that is predictable and calm, with space and time set aside for teaching about the brain and to develop emotional intelligence, or EQ. Ensure that all students benefit from these systems of support. Schedule the EQ conversations when all students are in the classroom. Systems and practices that reduce stress and promote peaceful learning that is free from chaos promote a learning environment in which everyone thrives. Teaching with emotional intelligence doesn't lower expectations, it opens the brain for learning, and we all know the demands for excellence are high. Socrates reminds us that everyone we meet is facing challenges. Let's revisit Lila's story through a new lens, one of compassion, connection, and curiosity. Starting with empathy, Lila's tardiness and appearance were signs she was enduring challenges beyond her control. Supportive relationships with children and their caregivers begin early and grow through frequent, positive contacts, emails, phone calls, or communication apps. Without that foundation, teachers often only learn about challenges like Lila's once problems surface. Rather than setting Lila up for failure with unfinished or possibly unnecessary homework, the teacher could offer an alternate plan that supports her success. A snack system shows compassion and recognizes that nutrition fuels learning. Consider a mid-morning classroom snack time, with students bringing food from home and donations covering anyone without. Dignified communication means praise in public, correction in private. Being called out in front of the class embarrassed Lila, and she flipped her lid. Having a caring one-to-one conversation with her at the right time could have set her day on a more even keel. When we reframe with compassion, we open doors for students like Lila and for ourselves. That brings me to one final practice I want to share. Before I mention this practice, I did want to tell you that I've created a script that will help you teach the information about the brain to students, and also there's a brain wrap that I wrote to help students remember the parts of the brain. So this other practice is this "What do you need today" protocol. I've spent years encouraging simple practices like greeting students at the door, but as we saw with Lila, students often need more: someone to listen, help with homework, a snack, or just a safe moment to breathe. Imagine if Lila had been able to calm her stormy day with a simple check-in like the one shown. It may have helped Lila calm her storm and get back on track for learning. These protocols work beautifully for students, but they're just as powerful for us as educators and leaders. We set the tone for classrooms and campuses, and curious check-ins help us steady ourselves too. So I'll ask again, what do you need today? Take a moment to check in with curiosity and try one of the anchors I've shared. When we teach with emotional intelligence, these anchors presented in this video help to calm storms within ourselves and with our students, so we can all get back to smooth sailing.
Music licensing reimagined.